Back with chapter 17 today, which is called Follow the Song. Speaking to Shard had filled Ash with a renewed determination to find his people. So much so, he was actually going to take Toby's advice for once. He was going to focus. Since he climbed aboard the Frostheart, he'd been so busy getting used to life with the crew, he hadn't had time to think much about the lullaby. But now he sang the lullaby to himself every day while swabbing the decks, determined to understand what it meant. A drifting star to light the dark, to an ancient beacon, cold and stark. Guard it true, protect it well, lest shadow break through prison's shell. Each time the same buzzing he'd experienced atop the watchtower filled his head, and the same sensory shift. In the clear light of day, the glowing star was hidden by vivid blue sky, but he knew it was there, shining, trying to tell him something. Ash groaned, his heightened senses making the aching in his limbs all the more prominent after yet another early morning training session with Tobu. We have a duty to Captain Nook that we must honour, but I also have a duty to you, Tobu had reasoned when Ash had asked why they needed to train so hard. I'm a song weaver now, Ash had boasted, emboldened by the importance Shard had put on his people. My powers will protect us. Surely all this training is useless now. Tobu laughed without humour. You think you have control over that power? As your guardian, it is my duty to make sure you don't get killed out there. I think it may be my greatest ever challenge. Ash rolled his eyes at the memory, then got back to trying to solve the lullaby's riddle. Over the horizon to Motherson's light, he had solved this part already, he reckoned, watching the undulating snow plains whoosh past as they headed east. It was the new part that Alderman Kindle had imparted that had him stumped. A drifting star to light the dark. Was it the star that shone when he had sung the lullaby? Was that the drifting star? Most likely. It did seem to be trying to tell him something, though what that was he could not say. And as for the ancient beacon, cold and stark, he had no idea. There were so many questions. Ash didn't even know where to start. I have a song like that too, came Luna's voice, who was hanging behind Ash. He jumped with such surprise he dropped the mop and put his foot in the bucket. Spirits, Luna, stop doing that! Luna ignored him, cleared her throat and began to sing. There was once an old mercer at sea, whose belly was big as could be. He died for a crumb, fell right on his... This song isn't like that. Oh no, what is it then? Some kind of song weaver magic spell? Are you magicking us, Ash? No, song weaving isn't magic, or was it? Despite how sure he sounded, Ash flushed at how little he really knew. It's just a lullaby my parents used to sing to me when I was little. I sing it to myself sometimes, just to remind me of them. Ah, say no more, Luna said, looking thoughtful. I have a song like that from my parents too. There was a fat pathfinder from... It's weird though. Ash, you are weird, Luna replied. Irked she'd been stopped mid-poetry. Then she saw the serious look on his face and relented. Sorry, you were saying? Sometimes I feel there's a message they left me, Ash went on, shuffling his feet. Hidden in the song or guiding me or something. He didn't know why he was telling Luna this, but he couldn't help but feel relief at actually talking about this theory with someone else. He'd been too scared to share it with Tobu, worried he would scoff at such a childish fantasy. Luna was brave and had seen so much of the world. Maybe she could even help him with it, and it would be nice to make a friend on board. He looked at her hopefully. She was pulling a face, an eyebrow raised so high it threatened to fall off her forehead. You're trying to find your parents based on the lyrics of a baby's lullaby? Ash turned red. Well, if you say anything like that, of course it sounds bad. And they were song weavers, so why wouldn't they use a song to guide me? The lullaby has led me aboard this sleigh, so it can't be that ridiculous. Luna grinned and put on an arm round his shoulder. Ash, you strange person. But you can sing to giant slobber monsters and get them to sit like a good boy, so who am I to say what your marvellous melodies can do and can't do? Thanks, I think. Luna's eyes brightened. The plot thickens. So, you going to tell me the words or am I going to have to guess? Oh yeah, there. Ash paused. The memory of Tobu telling him not to share the lullaby flashed into his mind. Luna folded her arms and tapped her foot impatiently. Ash grimaced. He wanted to tell her. He really did. It's kind of personal, but I guess I could tell you bits of the song, just the bits I'm stuck on, which is basically all of it. And maybe you could help me try to solve the riddle. Okay, tell me, she said, excited. Right, the first bit I'm stuck on is a drifting star. Do you know what that might be? Luna frowned. And no such thing, my friend. Maybe a shooting star or comet, though you'd have to be quick to catch those. Ash's heart sank. They weren't off to a good start. Really? There's no constellation or even just a star called the Drifting Star? He asked, thinking of the star that had lit up so bright when he'd sung the lullaby back at the Fear of Stronghold. Nope. No stronghold that has that name? Not that I've heard of. There was the Pathfinder sleigh Comet's Tail, but... Ash asked, have I joined the wrong sleigh? but they were wrecked by Leviathans on a run last year. Oh, Ash said, shoulder slumping. Apparently not. Next, Luna called out. There's a line about an ancient beacon, cold and stark. Whoa, talk about dramatic. Ash shrugged. Well, can you think of any beacon like that? A watchtower or torch or something? Ooh, treasure hunt, Luna cried. Just so happens I do know something like that. Come on. She grabbed Ash's arm and tried to pull him away, but he resisted. Wait, what about my chores? Luna looked around at the deck. Ash, this place is cleaner than the bones of my enemies picked by vultures. Cat won't notice we're gone. Trust me. Chores must be patient. Treasure awaits. Ash couldn't fault her reasoning. Sounds good. I haven't told you yet, but sneaking off is actually my other superpower. Ash grinned, his heart singing as he dropped his mop to follow his new friend. A friend who knew exactly what he was, but wanted to hang out with him all the same. Now that was magic. End of chapter 17.